Hi! On the Woodpecker today, I'm going to show you how I build my new nightstand. You may remember my old bedroom furniture. I hope I didn't give anyone nightmares. Last August, I drew up a series of plans for my new bedroom furniture. I decided to start with the nightstand. To begin, I sand enough mahogany panels to make the whole nightstand. I find it amazing that I have a bunch of old mahogany boards wider than 16 inches. After roughly marking all the pieces needed for the nightstand, I cut the rails and stiles. Then I make a hole for a domino in the middle of each end of the rails. I also make a hole at each end of the stiles. When I'm finished, I assemble the 3 frames just to see if everything is okay. I route a groove in the interior of each frame. I just route the groove on the stiles between the domino mortises. I reassemble the frames and route the chamfer around the inside corners. Now I can cut the back plywood and the 2 side panels. I route a raised panel profile on both panels. I do this in 4 passes, and I always start with the end grain. After cutting the profile on one panel, an old screw hole appears. I fill it with a lacquer stick, along with other small imperfections. Then, I reassemble the frame just to see how it will look. I cut a series of lock rabbets on the stiles. And make the mistake of gluing the back corners. I sand both raised panels, while trying to hold them as best as I can. I spray a coat of lacquer on the panels, so they will have a coat of lacquer inside the grooves when they are assembled. Now, it's time to cut all the pieces for the base. Both front corners are made from 2 45-degree cuts. I make 2 domino mortises on each corner of the base. After spreading glue on the miters, the mortises, and the dominoes, I can assemble the base and clamp it. Now it's time to make the 4 web frames for the interior of the nightstand. I start by cutting some of my old birch to the right dimensions. I make a series of domino holes and route a groove inside the frame just like I did for the exterior frames. I cut plywood for the dust cover inside the web frame and sand it out. I also sand the interior of the frames. It's time to glue, assemble, and clamp all the web frames. When the glue is dry, I sand the exterior. Now I measure and mark the placement of the 4 web frames inside the nightstand. Then I make the domino holes on the front stiles. I glued the back stiles together, so I need to mark the placement of the holes and drill them with the drill press. Then I clean between the holes so I can insert a domino. Now I need to make the domino holes in the interior frames. The final assembly will look like this. I take it all apart and sand the interior of all the pieces. I decide to glue it with epoxy, and I use a slow hardener with a cure time of approximately 90 minutes. I mix a batch and thicken it with a spoonful of silica powder. I spread glue in the mortises and on the dominoes. I put some rubber panel barrels to center the raised panel inside its slot. Then I just keep on gluing. First, I glue the dominoes for all the web frames. I glue the back plywood panel to the frame and assemble the other side of the nightstand. When all the pieces are in place, I clamp it out. Now I cut the front side pieces of the nightstand. As you can see, the groove is too deep. Oh well, it will have to stay like that. I notice that I'm not the only one relaxing and doing fun stuff. But I have to continue working, so I glue the front side pieces. After clamping it and waiting for the glue to dry, I make domino holes on the front of all the web frames. Then I make the mating holes on the mahogany front filler strip and glue them. Now I can sand the base. I temporarily stick the legs to the base with double-sided tape. Don't worry, when I make another piece of bedroom furniture, I'll show you how I made them. Now I make 6 domino holes on each leg. I cut 50mm dominoes in half and insert them in the legs so I can check the fit. I just need to remove the legs and drill chamfer holes on the base so I'll be able to attach it to the rest of the nightstand later. I replace the legs just to see the final look again. I cut the top and sand it. On the router table, I make a half-inch roundover on the top and the base. Then I change the bit for a 1/4 inch roundover and route the other side of both the top and base. Now I can start the drawers. I cut the front, check to see if they fit, and voila! Just like a cooking show, the drawers are finished. Again, I'll show how I made them in another episode. I need to extend the chamfer that I did earlier with the router on all the exterior frames. Now I feel the end is near. This has been a never-ending project. Maybe it's because I went skidooing every weekend. Or because I went to my cottage twice. Or maybe just because I took a 4-day vacation skidooing in the Gaspésie. If I want to finish it, I need to do it now. So I glue some filler strip on top of the last web frame. Now it's time to sand the exterior of the nightstand. Like all my other sanding, I finish with the linear sander with a 220 grit. Now that everything is sanded, it's time to make the top and bottom molding. When they fit to my liking, I glue them to the case and hold them with headless pins. I drill oversized holes on the top of the casing. I don't own an angle drill, so I improvise to make the interior chamfers. Then I put the top in its place, mark the placement of the screw holes, and drill them. I vacuum all the dust that I can and clean the rest with alcohol. I want to finish all my bedroom furniture with lacquer, but doing it outside is out of the question. So I'll just put a coat of shellac on it for now and put the finish outside at the end of spring. But I don't have enough shellac right now, so I start by making a batch. After measuring a half spaghetti jar of shellac flakes, I grind it all put it back in the jar, and fill it to the rim with alcohol. After mixing well, I put it aside for later and wipe a coat of shellac on all the loose pieces. I sprayed the exterior, but this was not my shining moment. I should just have done it like I did for the drawers and use a brush. This is enough to reach all the nooks and crannies. I want the drawers to slide easily, so I stick slippery tape on the drawers runners. Finally, I can start assembling the whole nightstand. I start by screwing the top to the case. Then, the base. Put each leg in its place. Screw the drawer pulls. And now I can put all the drawers in place. It's time to bring it to my bedroom. Here's our new nightstand. It's the first piece I built for our bedroom. All I need now is to build 2 more dressers. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time for another episode of the Woodpecker.